What if Anakin saves Shmi? A new Star Wars What If right here on Dank Ferric. If you're new and you end up enjoying this, consider subscribing for future What Ifs, lore dives, and more. So in asking our question, we will first go over the event itself, and then how it would affect and change the story that we all know. But without anything further, let's get into it. Anakin Skywalker had just learned of the horrible fate of his mother. After leaving her on Tatooine to go and become a Jedi, Shmi Skywalker was sold to a farmer by the name of Lars, married him, and eventually, just days before Anakin returned to his homeworld, was kidnapped by the Sand People, Tusken Raiders. She hasn't been home since. Her husband is crippled and cannot go after her, and so Anakin takes this upon himself. He completes the task. He had visions of her dying, and he knew that now and here he had the power to stop them from ever coming true, and he did exactly that, soon finding Shmi in a Tusken Raider camp, bloody, weak, and tied up in a tent. And upon finding her, he would cut her down from her bindings. Though in our version, she was not on the brink of death. No, instead she was weak and drained, but she was still with the will to survive. And because of this, Anakin wouldn't turn to the extermination of the people who captured her. Instead, he would be focused on pulling her out of the situation and getting her back to the Lars homestead. If she was going to survive, he had to move quickly. Eventually he would arrive there, and as the Lars family and Padme heard the swoop bike hum on the desert floor above, they would rush out, but Anakin was already walking toward the home with Shmi limp in his arms, and with the treatment she would now receive, the mother of Anakin Skywalker would make a slow but certain recovery. And because she survived, one might think that Anakin would become triggered and want to return for revenge, seeing what he loved in front of him breathing but hurt by the trauma. But in truth, he would be so relieved, so emotional by his haunting nightmares not coming true. He would instead stay by Shmi's side, his fingers in hers laced together for what felt like days. Not even Padme could pull him away as he sat with his mother. She could only bring him food and water, lend support where and when needed, all until Anakin was finally ready to leave her. And when Anakin was finally ready, he would agree to return to Naboo with Senator Amidala, once he was confident in Shmi's safety, once she had opened her eyes to see her grown son. Now, where does this leave Anakin going forward now that he saved Shmi from death? In truth, this could change his path drastically. The death of his mother was one of, if not the deadly mark on his spirit, a turning event that led him to his fate, or at least very much helped him get there. It was a trauma that he never truly recovered from, making him so twisted inside when the time and chance to save Padme finally came. But if he saved his mother, I feel that Anakin would be more sensible and even logical in dealing with his visions of Padme's death years later. Yes, thinking with emotion is a part of the character, and it always will be, no matter the what if, no matter the situation, but he wouldn't let it drive him as it did in Revenge of the Sith if he was able to save Shmi. And instead, Palpatine's temptations wouldn't be as easily performed. Anakin would need more prodding and grooming for the fact that he didn't already have the trauma of the loss of a loved one weighing upon him. Would and could Palpatine still get him though? Of course, I've no doubt in that. But do not underestimate the impact of Shmi's death upon Anakin. It made the Dark Lord of the Sith's goals all the more easier to achieve when it came to him. Something that it wouldn't be this time, not in this version of the story. If Shmi survived, we would see a far less volatile Anakin in the events after Tatooine and Attack of the Clones. Less pain in his soul to send him from overreacting. Though that's not to say that pain wouldn't be there. After all, the Chosen One's fate is destined. The Force would lead him where it must to bring back the balance. This has been Dank Ferric, and until the next time, stay safe and may the Force be with you, always.